This, whether people initially agree with this thing or not, the state has already sunk
$209 million, correct.
So I guess your thinking is, let's go full steam ahead and make this thing a
right.
success.
My job is to make Spaceport America a big success for all the taxpayers of the state. No pressure there. I'm a taxpayer too, so we're doing everything possible to make this a viable endeavor and to make it totally self-supporting sometime in 2014 when we become fully operational.
So do you think if you get this liability situation taken care of that the spaceport will take off and become the big success that you're hoping?
Yeah, I think it's a great spaceport. I think it's very unique. There are 9 FAA certified spaceports to date, but I think ours is very unique. I mean, it's a beautiful facility. We're aiming for space travelers, or what I call terrestrial space travelers, so people will enjoy space even if they don't go into space. But that piece of legislation is just critical in order to get more tenants there. We do have Virgin Galactic today. They're our anchor tenant. That's extremely wonderful. I'm happy to have them, but we need more. And this piece of legislation will open the doors and allow us to compete with states like Texas that already have the increased coverage, and Florida and Virginia and now Colorado.
If that legislation doesn't happen, is there a chance that Virgin Galactic will up and move?
I don't have a crystal ball, so I don't know. That's a good question to ask them. I know they've made statements that says that they will consider their position if that happens. They're not only the operator of the spacecraft, but they are also a manufacturer. So that's why that second piece that we're trying to get through this year, the manufacturing part, is very important to them. And again, this piece of legislation only applies to the passengers. So in the case of Virgin Galactic, there's only 6 people a flight that sign this, and it applies to. It doesn't apply to you or me. If that spacecraft falls on you or me or your house or my house, we can sue. It doesn't apply to that. And even the passengers on board can sue even if they sign it, if it's gross negligence. If an accident is due to gross negligence or malintent. It also costs the taxpayer nothing to pass this legislation. So we've sunk $209 million. This bill doesn't cost us any more, and it's going to make us competitive with states like Texas. And I think that's pretty important.
If Virgin Galactic did pull out, are there any clawback provisions?
There are some. They do owe us a little bit of money, but not a great deal. Not a great deal.
What, any ballpark figure there?
I think somewhere in the ballpark of about $1.5 to $2 million. So it's pretty limited, and that's the way the agreement was written several years ago, before my time, certainly. So it is important. This piece of legislation is really important.
What would be your optimum future for spaceport? How do you envision it?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a great place for people to come and enjoy themselves. Somebody asked me what's the difference between Spaceport America and an airport, and I think of when I think of Spaceport America, I think of having fun, going there to have a great time. We're designing it for travelers to come, either if space or land travelers. When I go to an airport, I don't think I'm going to have fun. So I think this really sets it apart. I think it's a place to get inspired about the future. It's a place that kids can get inspired about math and science again, which I think is extremely important. So I'm looking forward to having more student launches down there, more year-round activities for kids to come down and really get immersed in space travel and science and math, frankly.
Christine Anderson, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Thanks very much.